Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. This is Melissa bringing you a reading for Taurus. It's actually a love reading coming through today from the Light Seers Tarot. So this will be Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. And that is going to go from July 21st, 2025 to July 28th, 2025. And out of the deck, we have the Temperance card coming out with the Seven of Pentacles, Six of Cups, and more prominently, of course, because it is a love reading, and you can see it's Two of Cups coming in with the High Priestess, excuse me. So really feeling like this energy for you, Taurus, is you are coupled up, you have an object of your affection, and so you are coming together and really trying to work on things. And I feel as though there could be times where things kind of clash between the two of you. And you can see in that Temperance card here a little bit of the light and the dark kind of coming in. And this is about bringing in balance to that. I really think it's about finding balance as you come together. And this could indicate a need, of course, for a compromise. I do think that there are times where this person could be brutally honest with you, and you could feel as though this is some sort of mocking that's taking place where they're picking on you, but that is just a means for this person to keep you at a distance, so to speak. They're having some issues with the commitment, and I really think that this is coming through for us. And this could be like something too that they have as an external influence. Perhaps they know somebody who is kind of chatting it up, you know, in their ear, and things are not necessarily working out for them. And so they're just not ready to throw caution to the wind and move forward with this at this time. But I think that, you know, this comes back to saying that all is fair in love and war, and anything goes. And so there's no rules with this. And the means to achieving things can seem a little unfair, or that the scales aren't balanced. But I think that you have a set point, right? Where you have like a certain set of standards or expectations that you're seeking in that partner, and you want this person to kind of rise up and to meet those standards before you're ready to be all in as well. So I think it's a huge ask of this person, but on the same token, I do think that this person would actually go to great lengths to be with you. And I feel like they could be there for you through the thick and thin, or the good and the bad. And, you know, I think this person is, you know, I hear that song, it's 500 miles. I'm going to be like, this person's going to be the first person to walk 500 miles and show up at your door. And it just shows that even if they are 100% committed to you at this point in time, they're really still very much putting in the effort, and they're willing to kind of overcome some of these obstacles. So I think it's important that you don't jump to any sort of conclusions, right? Like, this person can fail before they start if you're speaking it into an existence of them not meeting those expectations, not rising up, not coming forward and being exactly what you need, right? So we have to be careful what energy we're putting out as well. So I think this person, you know, they do offer some level of security to you, but I do think that this is more like climbing a ladder. This is something that they're achieving slowly, or maybe they're like fresh on this path of healing and on this growth path, and they're progressing. I think their emotions are progressing. It's something that may have happened to them actually in their life that's kind of propelled them onto this path as well. So it's like a defining moment for them that's caused them to seek this path, whatever major life event that is. But they're in the process of becoming, they're transforming. And, you know, this is something that actually may have required this person to leave someone or something behind, something in the past. Because as that person starts to progress and climb that ladder and grow, you can think about at the top of the ladder, there's not much room at the top of the ladder, right? So this person's going to be a little bit more selective about who they're taking to the top with them. And they really need it to be someone that they adore and respect. And, you know, I feel like this person, part of leaving that person or situation in the past, it is because that person was, I don't want to say dead weight, so to speak, but I feel like some of these aspects of those relationships with those people, it can be very draining, and it's symbolic of who they were before. So that's what I'm feeling with that. And so in order for them to really level up and grow, it was necessary for them to kind of leave that in the past. It's no longer resonating with who they're becoming. So you can see on this card here, the High Priestess. See, the eyelids are closed, but you could probably see, because it's very clear, you can see the actual eye behind the eyelid. Okay, so that's what I'm very drawn to in that card initially, actually. So the eyes appear closed, but they're actually able to see. You're able to see through things. And so you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that this person is meant for you, right? You're absolutely certain of this connection. I really feel that. And you are captivated by this person. There's like a magnetic energy, and you just cannot stay away from this person. And that's really coming up with that Six of Cups in the background here, really showing us that this is somebody you probably had a past life connection with. So, and you can see even in that Six of Cups that there's two versions of this person, and they're growing and they're wiser, they're older and wiser. So, you know, really think that this is good energy, and you're solid in your choice, even though you have your initial reservations about the whole thing. You do know ultimately in the end that this is the person that you want to be with. So, also on the High Priestess card, I was very drawn to this rune here, which is actually symbolic of growth, right? And I think that this is coming in for a reminder to kind of examine your triggers, right? And find common ground with this person, meet them where they are at, because we don't want to have any sort of feelings like we are further along in growth path and haven't maybe been in their situation at one point or another. And so maybe you can like reach out a hand and help to pull this person up that ladder as they're progressing. Give them the support that they need, knowing that you've been in their shoes before as well. I think you can be a very grounding energy for this person, and you could bring them in some security with providing some sort of a structure or stability, and being symbolic of discipline in their life, understanding that you've worked through all of those things and they can see that, and they're also willing to work through all of the things that they're working through to get to where you are, or to rise up, meet those expectations, and meet you where you're at. And so I do see this person completing those steps, taking those actions, and then as a result, you're also feeling more secure. So I think it's important to be mindful of the things that we perpetuate, the beliefs in our mind, the thoughts that are coming in of what we are perpetuating, right? Because we want to be careful not to put too many constraints on this. I could really see you adding more steps to the rung to the ladder as time goes on, right? Like they've completed the first two and you had two more left, but now you add another. And so don't keep moving the goalpost for this person. Make sure that you're being consistent, because it's inevitable that this person has to complete certain things, right, to earn your trust and honor and love. But we want to make sure that we're not adding too many expectations and too many non-negotiables, because then you'll never reach that point where you're also at the same level. So it's reminding you both, though, too, that you're deserving. You're both very deserving of this connection. And by not moving that goalpost, I think that that's maybe a reaction that you're having emotionally, because when that person reaches that, then you're also like, well, I just want to be sure. And so then you want to add another little step for that person to complete, a task for that person to complete before you can be like, yes, this is the one and this is the time. But just be careful not to do that. And so that you're also acknowledging, it's important to also acknowledge one another's efforts on a continual basis of what they're bringing to the table and their efforts to overcome certain difficulties in their life. Because this is really about, you guys kind of working on being the best version of yourself apart from one another, so that when you come together, it can be next level. It can really be what you want. So I could see you coming to some sort of sudden realization about things. You'll have an epiphany, so to speak, that's kind of dawned upon you. You can see in the seven of Pentacles here, you worry that, gosh, is my abundance going to come up to the top and be fruitful? Is this going to be fruitful for me and a fruitful endeavor? Or is it something that's like never going to come to fruition? And you can lose faith trying to think about those things. So this epiphany will come in for you, and you'll have this sudden realization that, yes, it's exactly on the right track to being where you need to be. And I think that it's important to know, you don't want to have any regrets. So you want to make sure that you're considering all aspects of the situation, the relationship as well, and really get clear on your own emotions. Make sure it's something that you want. And if it's not what you want, what would need to be tweaked in order to make it be, fit your standards or expectations? Because getting clear on that's going to help to prevent you from muddying the waters and moving that goalpost, right? And so really being careful not to confuse this person or complicate the situation. But ultimately, it's just about being patient, reveling in gratitude for the journey that you're on, and know that everything is coming into alignment for you here. And when it does, this will be next level, out of this world love. And it's just going to take a little bit of time coming in for you. And so I could see when it does ultimately go next level, you'll have some sort of a grand gesture from this person. Actually, I do feel that. But ultimately, it will be this deepening connection, this unconditional love. I hear that George Strait song, Cross My Heart, where he talks about the love was unconditional and you both knew it from the start. It's that magnetic connection, and that you feel that on a real level. And so for now, just focus on leveling up individually and bringing the best version of yourself into this relationship as it comes into alignment. So a wonderful read here for you, Taurus. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, if this resonates for you, please let me know in the comments below how it's resonating. And if you feel inclined to share, I'd appreciate that as well. I will be back with another read for you guys again soon. Thank you so much. Take care.